My face feels so weird. G'day. Okay, what is today's revelation? I used to say it on another video. I've had many users and I have restarted my phone and I need to make a new fake name. So I've got many users of myself. So if you think there's many clones, okay, so today I'm going to tell the greatest secret in metal detecting that seems obvious and stupid and nothing, but if you ignore it, like a lot do, you go right past it in your brain, you go searching and you think you're going to find big fist-sized gold nuggets, but you don't seem to use it because you've got no brain, then you're going to fail. Okay, but if you use my trick, which is not a trick, it's commonly used, commonly known, and it's a successful thing. Success. Okay. The answer is the pinpointer button on your metal detector. If you just buy those other shitty ones, they're tuned to only really do metal and not so much the diamagnetic metals. So you've got to test that your detector isn't blocking out the signals. If you can dial it with knobs, they're the better ones, because you can go somewhere with nothing around where it's a null zone and you can detect and you can test if in fact does your detector hear gold. So you've got to get your gold sample, and then you find out what noise it makes. Learn that noise, take it with you in your pocket, and then take it out, go find the gold sample that you think you found, and put your machine, your piece of whatever it is, your sample of gold, and put it next to it and test that sound and get familiar with that sound, and then go over to the part where you think you found some and test if that signal sounds the same or very close to it. And if it's far off, excuse me, and you dig it up, you look like a real twat and you dig the wrong shit. So what's with the pinpointer fancy trick? So there's these GPZ 4000 Minelab detectors, and you can pay $4,000 for a detector that does the same thing that a pinpointer button does. So what it is the pinpointer button does this sort of sound whenever it goes through different metals if you keep it held down. But I would open up my metal detector, find out where the pinpointer is wired, the button that is, and find where the places of the two electrodes, the two solder points that you could put a wire, two wires, one on one, one on the other, and have those leads going to either a push button, which I don't like because yes, they save power, but it hurts your hand after a while. You've got to get a real comfortable one if you're going to want to hold it a while. With a switch, it just makes it go beep, and that's awesome, because that is like a GPZ, and GPZ just does that really, and doesn't necessarily do digital things to tell you all these facts that they think they're telling you. I like the Deus because it's good where you can know that gold is 5,000 kilohertz, right? It's on the 5,000 of the kilohertz, and that's the atomic perfection as well. Go find out what the atomic frequency is of gold, and you'll find it's 5,000 kilohertz. So then you've got to know that you've got a metal detector that is actually capable of detecting 5000 kilohertz. And get gold, find out what it does. There are good ones where they make a signal of a particular sound. So what I do is I get an app called High Frequency, and I get on my Android and I play that in my ears a lot so I get to know it. If I forget, I try to bring my ears ringing with it when I go checking for gold. I go detecting. So then if your ears know it, your brain gets a bit woggly, you know that tone. Remember that one tone. Like if you can put a gold sample in front of your detector and make sure it's a good one, like borrow your mum's ring or something, make sure it's pure gold, and then record on a phone the sound that that tone is, and try to play it back to yourself. Make up a tune and play back that tone, because you want to memorize. If you want to get it, you've got to know exactly that it's finding it. Tune it to what makes you know that it's hearing and showing you that it's there, because you can discriminate it out. Look like a right fool. I only pick up certain things. So like also test what your metal detector doesn't do. Just hear it and don't go there. Make a mark, like tune it until you know where it's actually not hearing it anymore. Don't make a mark there. Mark it only where it is hearing it, and from there on it will continue to hear it. And you can turn it up as much as you need then. But the thing that I always listen to is the pros, and one of the people that I look up to is Jeff Williams, and he says on his metal detecting, you must crank up all the stuff because it's a dip sound when you find gold on some detectors, and some it's a kinky kind of a glitchy sound. Every detector is different. If you're confused, just make sure you get one with a pinpointer, or make a pinpointer. But I tried to make a pinpointer today, to be honest, and it was ringing, but it wasn't making changes in the dips, because it was programmed for one blip when it's iron. As you customize it, you actually teach it to the best place. You find out where the best places on the tuning is, and there's places where you shouldn't tune it. Otherwise you'll just be going on down the paddock with your head in the clouds. So you've got to test to know how to find out what part of it is working. We don't tune to the wrong parts. Tune it only to the parts that are lucrative. Make markings to show that's where. For mine, if I have it on too loud and amongst a too loud, messy place like at the dump, I'll hear just mess. Some people have said because you didn't tune it up enough is some of the reason why you're not hearing nothing. So if you're in a blank field with nothing much around, you can crank it up to the hills until up to the max, because up near the max is the place where only the pinpointing can work. So it tells you actually, if you try to put the wire on one side of the circuit and wire on the other, and then have the speaker resonate when you cross them. So you test until you get it to resonate, so the speaker goes wee. Once you've got that resonating going, have a tune of your discrimination and find out if that's actually allowing you to hear gold. But it's the sensitivity that if it's not up enough, you're not going to get that pinpointing resonance. So just for the pinpointing resonance alone, it has to be up near half, because it doesn't do any registering. Down on the low, it's like your muzzle, unless you've got super hearing or hearing aid, you won't hear it. I think it would be cool as if you could just tune a hearing aid to 5,000 and up, and it's walking along, and Alright, it's my lucky day. Good luck, and don't be like me who put heaps of solder all over my metal detector, made it ring out, and then tuned up my sensitivity high, and then found that I couldn't be stuffed anymore. Tired, give it a break. Never mind, I don't want to do it now. I was going to sacrifice some certain crocodile clips and things and put them inside my machine. I've got another one that I ripped apart and buggered up the soldering because I was still learning to solder, and it was worth $200. I could put it together and remake the circuit. It'll take a hell of a day. It can't be too hot. Anything's possible, just put your mind to it. Alright, that's me.